Thrips are actually very easy to eradicate. They are very easy to eradicate. The problem is not so much the thrips. The problem is you. You have been choosing to waste your time, your money, and energy on things that just do not work. Because when it comes to thrips, neem oil is certainly not going to work. In fact, just throw that thing away. It doesn't work against most things. Your diatomaceous earth is not going to work. Your beneficial bugs. I know we all love a good beneficial bug release. We love to see our little ladybugs crawling on our plant. But it is not going to work against thrips. I need to hold this microphone closer so you can hear what I am saying. These things do not work against thrips. In fact, a lot of conventional pesticides will not work against thrips. And you need to understand how these evil creatures breed. Once you understand how thrips breed, then it begins to make sense and you begin to see why your little neem oil and that cute ladybug is not enough to completely eradicate these thrips. Now, when it comes to thrips, not only do these evil creatures lay their eggs on the surface of the plant, but they also lay their eggs inside the plant, literally inside the tissue of the plant. They inject those eggs inside the tissue of the plant and the eggs stay there and hatch. Now, the problem with your conventional pesticides, they may actually target and attack the visible thrips that are outside of your plant tissue, but they can't get to the thrips inside. Now, thrips also have a very short life cycle. They can completely finish their life cycle in 2 weeks. So because they know they have a very short life cycle, they breed aggressively. An adult thrip is an extremely fertile, evil creature and can lay hundreds of eggs, not just on your plant, but also inside the tissues of your plants. And this is why an infestation can just spread extremely rapidly. In fact, too rapidly for your conventional pesticides, your little beneficial bugs to properly contain. Now, when it comes to thrips, one thing I've also noticed is that there are certain plants. In fact, there is one very, very, very popular house plant that seems to be a thrip manufacturing machine. Thrips absolutely love that plant. And again, it makes sense when you understand how these guys breed. Once you understand how thrips breed, you will begin to see certain plants that they have a preference for and why they never seem to affect certain plants. The one house plant I've come to realize that thrips absolutely love, and if you have this house plant, you need to be on the lookout for thrips. In fact, if you currently have a thrip infestation, chances are it originated from that house plant. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a Monstera deliciosa. Yes, the iconic, the classic, the statement Monstera deliciosa. This plant is a thrip's favorite breeding house plant. If you have a Monstera deliciosa, you will eventually, it is inevitable. There's absolutely no avoiding it. But if you have a Monstera deliciosa, whether it is a variegated Monstera, whether it is a Monstera type constellation, whether it's a Monstera friggin' aurea, as long as it's a Monstera deliciosa, thrips will breed on that plant. And I believe it's because that plant has the perfect surface area for thrips. Remember, like I said, thrips do not just breed on the surface, they breed inside the plant. So I would imagine that they need a plant that has leaves that are sturdy but still soft enough for them to be able to penetrate easily, and also one that is large, that seems to have a wide surface area. And this is where your Monstera deliciosa just fits in. Those leaves are sturdy yet still soft, and the thrips can easily penetrate them. The leaves are also really wide, so they can breed aggressively, and they have a beautiful home. This is why you will probably hardly see a thrip infestation on plants that have a bit more turgid and succulent leaves, like your snake plant and like your succulent. So you see, once you understand how these evil creatures breed, not only are you going to be able to understand what pesticide will work for them, but also what plants may be extremely vulnerable to them. But just know for a fact that your Monstera deliciosa, that plant is a thrip breeding machine. I'm going to reveal the most effective pesticide against them. This will completely change the game for you, and you're not going to be afraid anymore of a thrip infestation, right? But I want you to also look out for certain telltale signs that you have a thrip infestation. Now, thrips are very small, so you may not be able to actually notice them at first glance. But the moment you start to see like some brown patches on your leaves, especially the new leaves. Thrips absolutely love new leaves, and again, I think it's because these new leaves are soft, so they can easily penetrate them and breed inside them. You see what I said about understanding how they breed? But if you see those brown patches on the leaves of your plant, it's thrips. Don't even try to justify it as anything else. It is thrips. And you need to treat that plant ASAP. Also, if you notice that the new leaf of your plant is wrinkly, it's malformed, and it is stuck, and you're watering that plant regularly, that plant hasn't been subjected to drought, then just check that new leaf. It is definitely thrips. So when it comes to thrips, please look out for these brown patches, and then also look out for the state of your new leaf. Now, when it comes to treating thrips, honey, this is where I'm going to need to hold your hand and tell you this. A systemic pesticide is needed. A systemic pesticide is the only thing that actually completely eradicates a thrip infestation. And the way a systemic pesticide works is that it is absorbed into that plant. The plant absorbs it into either its leaves through the pores or the stomata of its leaves, or if it's applied in the soil and that plant is watered, the plant will then absorb it into its roots. Think of it in the sense that you take a broad spectrum antibiotic, your blood vessels pretty much spread the entire antibiotic all over your body, and your whole body smells of antibiotic, your pee smells of antibiotic, your breath smells of, girl, we've all been there. That is exactly what a systemic pesticide does to your plants. When this pesticide is absorbed into your plant, it then makes the plant toxic to anything that will consume that plant or its byproduct. Now, this is where the controversy of systemic pesticide comes in, and why some of the girlies are very hesitant to use it, because a systemic pesticide is very indiscriminate. Not only is it gonna kill the nasty stuff like the thrips that will consume your plant, but also some of the eco-friendly beneficial insects like bees that will actually consume the byproduct of your plants. But there are two ways you can actually go about applying a systemic pesticide. You can either apply it in the form of granules or systemic granules that you add to the soil. Now, I personally think this particular method isn't the most effective and could also potentially cause harm to things like your pets and your kids. Now, because it is in granular form, I feel like it can easily be ingested by things like pests, animals, rodents, all of that. I also feel that it has a tendency to be more hazardous to the environment because you're applying it directly to your soil or your potting mix. So if that potting mix is disposed of or makes its way into the outdoors, the environment, I feel like it can be a bit more consequential and hazardous. And also, I almost forgot to mention this, if you're using a very porous potting mix, chunky mix girls, chunky mix, If the potting mix is extremely porous, then when you water that plant with a systemic granule, a lot of the pesticide is going to end up being washed off as opposed to being absorbed into the plant. So if you want to apply a systemic, I would say no, do not lean towards getting the granular or solid form. Instead, opt for a systemic that you spray. Opt for one in liquid form that you spray, which leads me to the product. Oh, I have to stand up. I have to stand up for this. The products that completely changed the game for me when it comes to thrips. In fact, if not for this product, I don't know if I'm still going to continue in this houseplant hobby, because I almost actually gave up on my plants when I had a very massive thrip infestation 2 years ago. It almost drove me mad and I almost gave up until I stumbled on, let me go grab it, this product is a friggin' game changer. It is called Provanto, and it is actually a systemic, a liquid concentrate systemic that you actually spray on your plants. You do not need to apply it directly to the soil. Literally just spray it on the leaves of your plant and you're good to go. And why I absolutely love this product is that it is extremely detailed, especially as regards the application, which is also one thing I want you to realize about using a systemic pesticide. You honestly don't need a lot of applications. Babes, I have used this for 2 years and I only just apply maybe once or twice a year. In fact, it even states here in the labels, it goes on to list the maximum number of applications you required per year, and also lets you know when to use it and when not to use it, because this is also something marketed towards edible plants and edible gardening. That is the thing about using a systemic pesticide. Like I said, you don't actually need to use it a whole lot. I'm seeing all of this because a lot of people honestly do not have a practical approach to gardening and houseplant collecting, and what consequently happens is that they end up wasting their time and their money. Honestly, there's certain pests you need a systemic. You need to use those chemicals, and there's absolutely nothing wrong in using chemical pesticides. It is just how you use it and when you use it that ultimately matters. A chemical pesticide can even be more efficient and beneficial to the environment in the long run. Take for example this product. I pretty much use it only once or twice a year whenever I see a thrip infestation, and it has drastically not only reduced how much I spend on pesticide, but like things like the cost of shipping the pesticides, the shipping materials, the packaging materials of these other pesticides that you buy. All these things are actually contributing to the detriment of the environment. So it's more efficient to just stick to a systemic pesticide that you can use once or twice a year and you are good to go. So basically, when it comes to treating thrips, do not waste your time. Just go and get yourself a systemic pesticide. And if you're getting a systemic pesticide, please lean towards a systemic pesticide that you can actually like spray. And I particularly love this brand because it gives very detailed and clear instructions on how to use it on your plant, and also the maximum number of applications needed. In fact, you may just need to use this once or twice at most to treat that thrip infestation, and that is all you need. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful, and I hope it will honestly save you your time and your money, because that is actually the essence of this video, to save you your time and your money. And babes, so when it comes to thrips, once you watch this video, you realize that they are very, very easy to treat. Just get yourself a systemic pesticide, spray it on that plant. That's all. You are pretty much good to go. If you found this video useful, please like and share, all that good stuff. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.